August the 18th, 2025. Will you stand for an invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? Lord, we ask you to look at the homeless and the sick and get them back into society as quickly as possible. We ask you to look at our first responders, our police, our fire, from the standpoint as they watch over us on a 24/7. What we do tonight, we do for the entire good of the community and not for any one particular interest or any one particular project. And we do all of this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August meeting here. I have Belinda Nitsky with me, our city clerk. Take the minutes tonight. Frank Wickman from the Wickman Associates Attorney. Welcome to you as well. Belinda, if you'll call the roll, please.
Mr. Barledge?
Here.
Mr. Messmer?
Here.
Mr. Rule?
Here.
Mr. Shriver?
Here.
Mrs. Spears? Here. Dr. Spilly?
Here.
Mr. Thielen?
We have a quorum this evening. Welcome. We're glad to have you as well. We have on the agenda always citizens wishing to be heard, but it's not on the legislative matter tonight. I think we have the wellness group this evening, and you're up to battle. You're up to the bat in Cage. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Susan McDonald. I was here with my friends from our Live Well Northern Kentucky Edgewood group back in February, and we brought up the notion about considering a comprehensive smoke-free policy in the city. And I know that there's been some discussion about it since then, and I noted in minutes from a May meeting that there's been discussion about putting up signage in the parks and stuff to limit smoking there. So we appreciate those efforts, but I want to maybe reiterate some of the things that we talked about the last time and ask again for your consideration to look at a comprehensive smoke-free policy. So exposure to secondhand smoke causes 41,000 deaths among adults in the United States each year, and even occasional exposure to secondhand smoke may lead to heart attacks, stroke, and lung diseases. And emissions from electronic cigarettes, so vaping, which is kind of a newer thing, that actually has a higher concentration of those particles. And the World Health Organization, the National Institute, NIOSH, and the American Industrial Hygiene Association recommend that electronic cigarettes not be permitted in smoke-free environments, and they should be included in smoke-free policies. So e-cigarettes, they disproportionately impact teenagers and young adults because it's a more recent thing, and they aren't smoking as many cigarettes, but they certainly are vaping a lot. Cities with comprehensive smoke-free policies have lower smoking rates. That's been demonstrated in the literature. So I know that the city is covered by the Kent County Ordinance, and we had discussed that before, and it prohibits smoking in most public places, but it doesn't address outside areas such as parks, and it only pertains to tobacco products. It does not address the e-cigarettes or the vapes. And it doesn't address marijuana either, which, is likely going to be coming up in the near future. E-cigarettes and prohibiting smoking in parks and all city property are included in a comprehensive smoke-free ordinance. And I think the last time we talked about how Ludlow was in the throes at that point of passing a comprehensive policy, and they have since passed it. And there are a few other cities in northern Kentucky that are looking at that as well. And a big part of why they passed it was because of this issue of the e-cigarettes. And then signage could be posted in the city if there was a comprehensive smoke policy, and it would be then valid because then there would be an ordinance that would support it. So we're just asking again for your consideration to think about a more comprehensive smoke-free policy for the city of Edgewood. The other concern we have is around vape shops. Again, because vaping is so significant. So, and I know we can't control and limit where businesses can go, but we have a lot of concern that there's parcels open, particularly up near the new Kroger and off of Barnwood Drive, that could easily turn into vape shops. And so, whatever the council can do to limit that, that would be very beneficial as well to our community. So just wanted to, again, reiterate what our concerns are. Stephanie Vogel, who is with the Northern Kentucky Health Department, would be a huge resource. If you would want to have consideration, she could come to a meeting, or she could just be a resource separately to help for the development of that. And then Ryan Salzman, who's project director for One Kentucky Alliance, is very involved in smoke-free policy development in the various cities in the community. So he would be another great resource and certainly could help behind the scenes. So that's it.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you coming back. I think I would ask Mr. Diener for an update on the execution of what we reviewed as a council first. And then I think second, I would remind you that we did not authorize marijuana in the city for either any type of medicinal or potentially even future recreational needs. So there is no concern unless Kenton County were to change their stance that would negatively impact us. And at that point, I would imagine that we would take action swiftly to counteract that.
Yeah, so if the problem is that marijuana could become legal, even on a recreational standpoint, and it would be very difficult to manage that if people can legally use it, in anywhere in North Kentucky.
Understood, but I think your argument was there's places on Dixie that could become marijuana shops, and what we know now, that can't happen based on the ordinances we
Which
have.
is great. No, we were really more worried about the vape shops. That marijuana is down the line. It's the vape shops that we're concerned about maybe could pop up in some of the open parcels that are up there.
Yeah, and I'm not an expert on that. I'd have to defer to Mr. Wickman and Mr. Diener for where we stand on that, but I don't know that they're any different than current stores that are licensed appropriately to sell tobacco products. And if we need to take action on that, then I think that's a separate issue that we should
Well,
discuss.
we have it zoned that it can only be in that Kroger Plaza. And I think we'll have to listen to Mr. Wickman on whether we can totally ban them, because I know when we were discussing the sexually oriented businesses, we were not allowed to ban them. And there were court cases that
Correct.
said that. So we actually they're licensed in our industrial park. So they never will happen, but Mr. Wickman might be able to fill us in on that.
Dr. Spilly, do you want me to do the signs first?
Yeah, I think an update on that would be good.
We follow up with the
So
zoning.
we do have the signs are designed. I wanted to make sure that they match the branding of what we did in the park. So we reached out to Eric Brown, who did all of our branding to develop the signage. I thought we didn't spend thousands and thousands of dollars to put new signs in the park just to then slap up a quick sign. So those are done. The smaller placards, signs that we would mount on all the benches, all the tables and everything, just to remind people, I have a quote on those back, and then I'm waiting for a quote back on the larger signs that we would put around the parks. Each one of the parks are the playground areas, and when I say parks, like a basketball court, tennis court, maybe the sensory garden, those type of places, we would install signage to do that. So hopefully within the next month, we'll see those
And
signs.
what are they going to say?
Can you get this?
Let me-
You have the email, Jeff. It has
I
a,
didn't see the
I'm sorry.
attachment.
Yeah, here, I can, maybe I can see,
I got the memo on it, but I didn't see the attachment.
maybe it was on my, at the end of my report.
I could have missed it.
Well, I'll give Susan mine.
No, and I think it's great that
So
the
that
signage
is where we stand now on the signs, Dr. Spilly.
Thank you.
It's great that
And
the
then I'll
signage
address
is
the
going
zoning
up.
issue.
The issue is I'm not sure there's an ordinance that supports it at this point, because the Kent County ordinance would not. That's why we were hoping there would be consideration for a more comprehensive ordinance that would specifically address outside areas, because the Kent County one does not. And it also does not.
I hate to interrupt you, but I could have sworn that I read in Kent County, it said it did include vaping, because it said something about vaporization, and that was their term to include vaping.
I don't think so. I mean, I could be incorrect, but
Regardless of what their ordinance says, I believe when we talked about putting signage up at the parks,
eliminating them. Mr. Wickman indicated we could come up with any rules because we own the park, and we could enforce those rules upon people. We did not need an ordinance to, because it's not a, it would not be a finable, it would just be that we are telling you to stop doing it and eliminate it, or we will ask you to leave the park. And Mr. Wickman may correct me and say, no, that's not exactly what I said, but I think we can put a sign up saying no parking somewhere, and even though we may not have an ordinance that says you can't park there, it's on our property and we can enforce that.
Sure.
So that was our first step to take, to see if we could at least limit it around playground areas where children are, or at a concert in the park, those type of facilities, without limiting it in facilities that people are renting right now that would be outside of it. But I'll try to put them in those areas as well. And then with regards to zoning, we are in the process of updating our current zoning ordinance. We have eliminated vape and tobacco selling shops out of every zone that we have except for one zone, and that will be on what's called, I believe, a highway zone. And we have one highway zone, and it's at the bottom of the hill on Spurty Drive. It sits across the street where you would see like McDonald's, Thornton's, there's a bank, and maybe something else on that side of the street. So that's the only area that we will leave that in terms of being zoned, unless Mr. Wickman informs us that we could take it out of all zones, and he would be comfortable with that. Council can make that decision, but we have it now, we will have it in one zone if the Z21 zoning gets passed.
That's great.
That will not stop it in places. Thornton's on Dixie Highway could sell tobacco products, they could sell vaping products, Kroger's could sell tobacco products, vaping products, but the actual business of only doing that would be limited to do that.
All right, well, thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Do I have anyone else that want to make some comments or discussions on it? If not, I'll look at the agenda, and does anybody want to add anything to the agenda or readjust the agenda? If not, then I'll present to you August the 4th, 2025, council minutes. Any changes in that? If not a first and a second to approve.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from August 4th, 2025.
Jamie, okay.
I'll make a second.
Dr. Spilly? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Rule,
Yes.
Dr. Spilly,
Yes.
Mr. Barledge.
Yes.
Mr. Messmer,
Yes.
Mr. Shriver,
Yes.
Mrs. Spears. Yes. Mr. Thielen.
Yes.
The August the 4th, 2025 minutes stands as presented. Thank you. With that, tonight we have the mayor's report. We also have the staff reports as well this evening. So, but at the same time, I'll lead off here with the VATs. We met with the mayor group on Saturday with a number of representatives from the legislative group who were with us on Saturday morning. And one of the legislative people are meeting in Frankfurt right now, getting ready for the budget for next year. And they were saying from the standpoint, we, the cities, need to get in our requests for compensation or money from the standpoint of projects that we might have for the coming year, because they will be setting the budget as well. And they will probably end the discussions of budgetary and things of this nature in the Senate and the council meetings November of this year. So they said everything should be done between now and November so they can get ready for the legislative sessions and bring forth those different types of expenses that the cities might be asking for or requesting. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but at the same time you need to put in your requests. Doan, from the representative over in Erlanger, just put in a bill 806 from the standpoint he's filing it, that the state can regulate all the chickens in the cities. The cities don't have to worry about regulating. He's taking away from home rule, and he's pushing that bill that will start in Frankfurt as well. But it's therefore allowing anybody, the state will approve that you can have chickens in any city that you wish. So we're going to be looking at that from the standpoint of, I can tell you the consensus of the mayors on Saturday was that they certainly do not want this because it does eliminate home rule, and it puts all the issues, or puts it all on the state doing all the request, or doing all the maneuvering of all the words of statutes and getting it passed. So we got to look for that. We're going to have more and more issues coming up, as they said, so it's going to be a tough issue starting from January on. On September the 12th, Taylor Mill is going to be christening or opening their firehouse. It'll be the brand new one. It's an open house from the standpoint of anybody and everybody's welcome to go on September the 12th for their opening of their new firehouse as well. As we all know, that on January the 26th, our income tax is reduced as what the state legislature has passed. Basically, the reduction of the income tax, they're going to have to compensate somewhere along the line. So again, the Senate, the House, and everybody else, and the governor is going to be looking at where they can do, what kind of sales tax can they impose, and on what operations and where can they get the money. So anyway, they're going to try to get the money somehow from even reducing it. On August the 25th, which is coming up, there's a planning mission at District 6. The police, fire, and Life Squad members will be meeting at District 6 from 9 to 11 because the bridge construction will be starting. And of course, they're now going to try to reroute or try to figure out how they're going to get ambulances down to the areas that will be impacted with the construction. So that meeting is starting because the bridge construction is going to be starting very soon. And of course, they want to get a heads up on that, and that's on District 6 this coming August the 25th is what it is. That's where they're happening. So a lot of things are happening from the standpoint within the next few months, and of course, the traffic situation is going to be a little more worse than what it is from the standpoint when everything gets started. But it's on its way, and he just said, bear with us from the best they can. So we basically will be the cities, of course, Fort Wright, Fort Mitchell, for the standpoint, Erlanger and Ellesmere. Erlanger are very concerned about it because that's the emergency routes within the I-275 and 75, and so they're very concerned as how they're going to get life support equipment to those that are in an accident. So lots of things are coming up at this point in time. With that, I'll turn into the staff reports. Any questions on Brian Dieners, on the city administrators?
I'd like to add one thing that I didn't get to say that Mr. Wickman forwarded to me over the weekend, and it's a Kentucky revised statute that has been passed and became effective on June 25th, 2025. It is a prohibition against possession or use of tobacco products, alternative nicotine products, vapor products by person under the age of 21. If law enforcement sees someone under the age of 21, they can confiscate what they have, and depending on at what level it is, they can also be required to participate in a community service program or attend a tobacco cessation program. So that went into effect June 27th, and I forwarded that on to Chief Kreiness, and he said he would distribute that to the officers as well. So that is one thing too that will help in the community, that if we do see someone that we believe is under the age of 21 that has tobacco products, vaping products, any of those type of things, all police officer can confiscate those.
So the age is not 18 anymore?
It's 21. It says 21. Persons under the age of 21. And I'll forward it to you. I was trying to here, but it picks up a weird, it doesn't do my group of city council, so I'll do it in the morning so you have that.
Mr. Diener, you had mentioned in a previous email that we were going to talk about the zoning change on Horse Branch. Is now the appropriate time to talk about that?
They will be here on the second meeting in September.
Okay.
So when the representative PDS is here, I would like her to hear that so she knows how to make what notes and what changes you wish to make at that time. If in between that time, if you have questions or anything, I would gladly do research for you or find the answer. But I think that would be better with her here, with Megan, so she can like make note and then go back and make it the exact changes that you would request.
Was there a committee that decided how that was going to take place?
On the Z21,
Yeah.
there was a
From our
group.
city?
It was
Well, Jeff,
Jeff,
Myself,
Ben,
Ben,
Frank,
Rob.
the mayor,
Rob.
our PDS representative, Rick, Tom, were you in some of those maybe? Myself, I
Paul
did
Dar-
more
Paul Darple
facilitating.
was in there.
Paul Darple, Paul Darple.
There was another resident, I can't remember.
There was another resident. I don't remember, I can get the name if not. But yes, that went on for close to a
it
year.
was it was almost, yeah.
I thought it was 18 months.
18 months is what it was, yeah.
It was long.
And are those publishable minutes? Are those meetings or not?
I mean, the results are what we have. We don't have minutes. You just kind of, we walk through each section of the zoning. If you have an issue, if you'd just like to ask me what that is, instead of getting, I would gladly answer that, but.
No, I'm just
I mean,
curious.
when you take a book that's
Yeah.
400 pages, I mean, we just worked through each one, tried to go through it.
Some of those meetings were very long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're being completely transparent and there's no smoke in the
100%.
back room, right?
Yeah.
Where decisions are being made.
She'll have,
Are there any other meetings that are happening right now that are like that are making decisions for our city? Any non-committee, but just groups of council members who are meeting together and making decisions for our city?
first off, they did not make decisions for your city. That's why you've had that document for the last 6 months or so. So you can review that and make any additional. They made a recommendation to you as a council member to review it and make any other additional questions, have any other questions or make any other guidance that you would like to do. So there are no other groups that are meeting or doing any of that right now. That's the only project that was going on.
Thank you.
And also at that meeting, I pointed that out specifically because it was a big change and I wanted everyone to know that that was a pretty significant change. Everything else in there, we tried to keep the same. You know, the words were different, but we tried to keep the same as what was already there as best we could.
Regarding zoning, is that what
Yeah,
you're? Yep.
yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything,
Huh.
I don't think there's anything that is even major that's in there that has
No,
changed.
and that was the only thing, and that's why I brought it up, so that everybody saw that.
Well, and she'll explain it. And like I said, if you have questions then on that meeting, then certainly bring it forth and she can explain, but very little changes really were made. With that, I'll run into City Clerk Belinda. Fire with Tom. General Services with Rick. I want to say to Rick, from the standpoint, thank you very much. As we all know, the Charter Oak is in the major process, and it's just now getting almost really started. But thanks very much, because Rick has been down there monitoring it every day from the standpoint of getting things moving, and we're moving along pretty well. So Rick, thank you very much, and your crew as well on that. It's a big undertaking, and I can only say this, and I don't know about the rest of the council members, but I've heard great comments from the standpoint just the improvement that's made just the way it is. And I said, wait till you get the striping and you get all the lanes changing from the standpoint how easy it is to maneuver in that particular area. But I just want to say from the standpoint of I appreciate those people making those comments, and from the standpoint there will be some more improvements as we go. So really thank you for what we're doing there. And the police with...
Can I also
Go
say a
ahead.
quick thank you
Sure.
regarding that intersection? I know, and Mr. Diener had mentioned this, the traffic light, there were some complaints when it first changed, but it was very quickly addressed. So I've had multiple people say thank you for that.
So we don't know how this happened, but the camera eye,
Yeah.
something hit it and turned it up. So it was never looking at traffic to know that it would ever change. And so on that Monday morning when Rick came in, we immediately called. They started investigating, and they're like, hey, the camera eye is like looking somewhere else. And we don't know if one of the trucks or something moved a pole or did something and knocked that camera eye. Because it was running really smooth up until just all of a sudden it went haywire.
There was a very quick response, so it was a thank
Yeah.
you. I don't live down that street, but I know people who do, and they said it was a pain for few hours, and then it was quickly fixed, so thank you.
And my understanding is now that temporary poles will be placed. That will allow the contractor to finish everything that they need to finish. Pedestrian crossings, everything will be done. And then when the metal poles come in that February, March time period, they will just swap out the temporaries with the regulars. But other than that, they'll look like old telephone wooden poles will be the temporary poles that we put up until we can get the metal poles in to do it. So the engineer, the report I got Friday was everything's on track. Contractor says if they keep going, weather holds, by middle of October, they should be able to do final paving and the temporary poles should be up.
Awesome.
Yeah, when people see the actual turn lanes, if they think it looks nice now and it's working, when those turn lanes get put in, the extensions to them, I think they'll really see what the vision was in cleaning that whole intersection up. But thank you.
And one question I did have for the police, we spoke last time with Sergeant Buchanan that they were going to build something for the SROs regarding education of e-bikes and e-scooters. Did we get to move on that, or are we waiting for the first rush of back to school to kind of subside before we bombard the parents with more stuff?
No, we're actively working on that. The flyers that we've shared on social media, we've shared those with school administration, and they all have monitors throughout the school, and they're going to be putting those up on those monitors periodically throughout the school day to kind of get it in front of the students' eyes a little bit. And then just today, I put an order in at Vistaprint for they're essentially postcard size informational handouts. We're going to get those out to the SROs, and as they interact with the kids when it's appropriate, we're going to ask them to hand them out, and hopefully that'll have a positive impact on things.
Thank you, Chief. I do think the education is way better than the punitive side of things. I really appreciate you getting ahead of that.
Mr. Rule, also to let you know that at least 3 occasions I've gone over and asked Sergeant Winkler or other officers to say, hey, there are kids on scooters right now down the street on this, and they have gotten up and they have driven down there and talked to them, and they came back and said the kids were very respectful, they understood, they would do better, all of that. If I could catch the 2 on the dirt bikes that are riding back and forth, though.
I know where they
one
live.
One who does wheelies and riding all over and acts like he's evil and evil. That's the one, if I could get them to get a hold of. That bike will be sitting here in the police station.
The word is out.
Huh?
So the word is out.
No, he is I'm telling you, he helmet going. I mean, he is racing down the sidewalk like crazy, doing the popping wheelies, and he is riding like crazy down the sidewalk. So if they can get that one, that would be a nice one.
Put some stop sticks out.
We can talk after. I know where he lives.
Okay. I've heard 2 places, so there might be 2, but I know.
Well, they're brothers.
Oh, okay, that's why. They're tricky.
They can move pretty quickly.
That one's had more complaints than scooters in the last month.
Chief, thank you very much on that update on the literature aspect. And then last but not least, recreation, and of course, as you know, we've got a couple more concerts, and then we come to the end here as well. So Lucas has done very well. We've got one tomorrow night, as we'll announce as well at the end of the meeting. With that, I'll jump into as just a FYI from standpoint to September the 1st is the council meeting, and due to the Labor Day, based on our ordinance, we'll go ahead and cancel that unless you would like to come and enjoy your council by yourself. But anyway, just an FYI from the standpoint of the council meeting. The other thing we'd like to discuss a little bit tonight, and Brian can bring us up to date, but at the same time, I think you've got some pre-literature on this, is Kroger's is asking for consideration in changing the alcohol sales and the times on the Sunday. Currently, it's from 8 currently they are open from 8 until 10 p.m. on Sundays, and they would like to match that to those hours for customers' convenience. Edgewood hours, as you know, for the number of years, because we've had cars and the rest of them here with us, is you couldn't go in before 8 o'clock. It had to be in there at 11 o'clock and later. To 10 p.m. is basically what we had from the standpoint of approval on our ordinance. Kroger's would like to ask if we could possibly make considerations on this. So we're open for discussion on it, and from the standpoint is Do you have any thoughts or anybody would
Good with it, yeah.
just do it as the normal? What else, everybody else is doing? Yeah.
Do our laws, our ordinances, excuse me, they don't impact our establishments that sell alcohol in any way as far as like extra cost to sell on Sunday? The only limiting thing, just so I'm getting this right, is the hours. That's what our ordinance addresses, correct?
Yeah, so alcohol sales, they buy a liquor license, and it doesn't have to do anything with volume, it's just the price for the license. So the volume they sell has nothing to do with, we gain no additional revenue based on any volume amount they sell. It's all they are asking is, can they have the same hours they have at the Silver Lake in the new store moving across the street? The only differential is they can open at 8 a.m. on a Sunday, whereas in Edgewood, the liquor stores can only open at 11 a.m. So that's the only change.
There wouldn't be any additional cost to them, correct?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not unless you looked at it and did something with it.
No,
They're just asking
yeah,
that
just
we
making sure.
strike 8 or 11 and we insert 8.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this would be for any establishment that sells liquor in the city?
Correct. Correct.
I don't know if it goes for bars. Is it just liquor establishments like liquor stores?
No, it's just the liquor stores.
Just liquor stores. I just want to, when anyone's
It's
selling them.
Sale by the package, not the.
Package liquor.
Yeah, just, so a couple clarifying questions. The ordinance that was sent is titled 21 Ordinance for Alcoholic Beverages, so it's the 112.01 all the way through 112.99. And this specifically contemplates the retail sale of packages. So a couple questions I had is, I appreciate that Kroger would like to stretch our current ordinance, but where do they stand in their process of being licensed currently?
They are licensed.
So they've applied for them, but
Oh, yeah.
So the state has
successfully
already issued their
Yeah.
liquor license.
for the new location?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then upon review of this, it actually says, and I was surprised to learn this, is that the retail sale of alcoholic beverages is established up until 2:30 a.m. and stops before 11 a.m. on any Sunday. And then every other day, it's 2:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the blockage. I'm a transparent person. I had no idea that you could purchase alcohol in the city of Edgewood till 2:30 a.m. Whether someone's open that late is different than our ordinance. And I think if we're looking at tacitly, I don't have an issue with advancing it to 8, but I think on the same side, we need to look at the 2:30 a.m. side as well. And I don't know what is right there, but 2:30 in a city like Edgewood seems awful late.
And you're just, I think you're really just talking about like the gas stations,
Yeah.
you know,
Why,
and you're, people going in, like third shift workers or somebody, but.
Well, I think the 2:30 a.m., first of all, let me, as an introduction, say that section is not limited to package sales like I just indicated. It prohibits the sale of any distilled spirits. And I think that 2:30 a.m.
That's when the bars
hour
close.
was established to accommodate the
Edgewood Tavern.
Edgewood Tavern and other
And the
bars
pizza
in the
place.
city of
Well,
Edgewood.
and if I can clarify, I mean, it specifically says retail sale of alcoholic beverages. To me, that means a store, not a bar.
Well, if it was meant to include the bar, it would, there's a distinction in the alcoholic beverage licensing statutes between package sales and drink sales. Retail sales by the package are controlled by some statutes. Retail sales by the drink are controlled by other. This one, the way this one is worded, it applies to both.
I think I'd be opposed to restricting somebody's business that's been doing this for years I mean, I don't know how late Edgewood Tavern stays open, but I would hate to start restricting people will be, like Rob was saying, if somebody gets off third shift and they want to go buy beer for the next day when they go fishing or whatever they're doing or going to the football game. I just hate to restrict somebody's business like that.
Well, to clarify, I'm not suggesting changing anything related to bar sales. I'm talking package sales.
Yeah, and that would be restricting, like the gas station up there, they would have to stop selling whatever time we established.
Yeah, the beer.
Frank could separate them if you want to get into that.
But this ordinance is both package and drink sales. So that's why it's worded this way. So it can cover both. Okay. Yeah. I'm good with it.
Well, we have to change our ordinance. don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to change our ordinance. If you're in accordance with it tonight, then we'll go ahead and produce a new one.
And so my understanding is we are going to strike 11 a.m. and just insert 8 a.m. on Sunday, correct?
Correct.
Everything else will stay the same? Okay.
All right, thank you very much for that. We've got some up-and-coming events here, and Tuesday night, of course, is the summer concerts in the park, and really, thanks to Hatfield and Hummel and Hatfield from the standpoint of putting some sponsor work this last concert. It's really been helping. President's Park at 7 p.m. and the closures tomorrow night is finishing the season with Marcia Brady on August the 26th. So as you see there, that one we were rained out is what was happening. That's why we extended it. And we've got great comments from the standpoint of folks, really from the standpoint making it up. They're glad to be there and glad that we're doing it as well. The Sun and Moon Night, that's basically astronomy people. That's August the 30th. And that's in President's Park, and that's from 7 to 9. Must be pre-registered. If you folks want to come and view it yourself, you don't have to be pre-registered, but the people that are coming need to be pre-registered only from the standpoint they have enough scopes and other people there to handle the crowd as well. But it will be a significant amount of people there as well on the 31st, so, or on the 30th at President's Park for the Sun and Moon. Explore Dinosaurs at the Century Garden in President's Park, and that's August the 31st. And that's from 2 to 4. Jeff, is there anything you want to add to that from the standpoint?
I heard there's going to be a real live dinosaur there.
We heard the same thing, and we're really getting a lot of chains and ropes and a lot of screening. So we'll see. It'd be great to see the dinosaur.
Jeff, you're going to be there? Is that what you said?
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I didn't say fossils. I said live dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park in Edgewood.
Yes, it is. It is. It's. We appreciate their going out and getting one live and bringing it in. So we look forward to that. So you got from 2 until 4, and they're looking forward to it as well. And I'm going to say, is a Tai Chi? Is that how you do it? Tai Chi. Okay. Classes. I've never been to one of these. It's on Thursday, starting September the 11th, and that's at Liberty Hall, and that's from 1 until 1:45 p.m. So you must be pre-registered for that as well. So it's interesting that we have all this going, and we appreciate Lucas and everybody else working behind the scenes and getting all the programs up and running. And the police department, thank you very much for patrolling the concerts during the summer. And we've had a really good turnout from the standpoint, even though the humidity and the temperatures have been high, but at the same time, it's been a good crowd. With that, if no other comments, we'll close with...
I do have a clarification I would ask. So, Mr. Wickman, for the ordinance, can we specifically delineate retail package from bar sales in the modification? Because lumping it all together is poorly commingling two separate issues, I think.
The answer is yes. It's insinuating that a bar can open at 6 a.m.
Exactly.
I'm sorry? It's insinuating that a bar can open at 6 a.m.
Or 8 a.m. on a Sunday.
Right.
And I don't think that's the city we live in. I don't think that represents our values. But I don't have an issue with someone buying beer on the way to fish at 8:15 on a Sunday. I don't have an issue with that. But I don't think we need to change on the bar side of things. I think what sits in here right now is fine. I think what I'm asking is if we could specifically say retail package sales could be the hours that everyone agreed upon.
Midnight?
I'm
2:30.
2:30 a.m. is not a third shift thing. Like when you work third shift, you get off at 7 a.m., right? You don't usually get off
Okay,
at
so second shift.
2 a.m.
I'm just wondering if you would like us to separate them. Do you want separate hours for packaged liquor? So at midnight, you cannot sell packaged liquor after midnight?
I'm not even saying midnight. I think 2 a.m. is very late. 2:30 a.m. is very late.
Okay.
I understand that we don't have any packaged liquor stores open at that point,
Okay.
but I'm also saying I don't think we want that as a city.
Okay.
The gas
Well, the
station.
gas
sells.
stations are open.
Like Thornton's would be open or Shell's selling. And then if we separate out, are you more concerned that like if we do the liquor, sale of alcoholic liquor beverages, you would like to change their opening to 11 a.m.
I think
on any day, not 6 a.m.?
I think retail package sales of liquor or beer at 8 a.m. 7 days a week is totally fine.
Okay. So if we're not changing the hours of what's written there, why are we separating? And I'm not being mean, I'm just.
No, we are changing it because it's 11 a.m. on Sunday and 6 a.m. on every other day of the week.
Okay, so I think I get where you're going.
Yeah.
You would like to leave that all the same, and then under it, we would put a section for packaged
Yes.
liquor, and that would change to what Kroger has asked us to do.
Totally fine with it.
I follow you now. Thank you, sir. I think we can do that.
With that closure, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Dr. Spillick?
Second.
Rob? All in favor?
Aye.
Those not in favor? Like signs? Good night. Thank you very much.